10 years after first contact, the Grand Conclave of the Galactic Alliance convened for their centennial strategic review. At the center of the gathering was a delegation that would have been unthinkable a decade earlier: humans. Ambassador Jion stood before the assembled representatives of 17 advanced species, conscious of the historical significance of the moment. Behind her stood General Minho, the human liaison to the Alliance Military Command, wearing the latest iteration of the joint-developed combat armor that had revolutionized warfare across known space. "Distinguished representatives," Jion began, "a decade ago your scientists and military leaders observed our soldiers and concluded we were wearing the stupidest armor ever seen. Today I'm pleased to report that our combined research teams have completed the final tests on Generation 5 of the Integrated Defense System, armor that is now standard issue for all Alliance combat personnel." Holographic displays activated, showing the evolution of Alliance armor from the heavy, restrictive designs of the past to the current sleek, adaptive systems that combine the best of both civilizations' approaches. The Vex Dominion expected to overrun Alliance border worlds within a standard year, General Minho added. Instead, they've been pushed back on every front by forces they consistently outnumber, because tonnage of armor and firepower no longer dictates battlefield outcomes. Mobility, adaptability, and tactical flexibility do. Captain Doyen, now Admiral Doyen and the Alliance's supreme military commander, stepped forward. His once dismissive attitude toward human combat doctrines had transformed into profound respect. What we once considered stupidity was actually innovation we were too entrenched in tradition to recognize, he acknowledged. The humans identified a fundamental truth we had overlooked for millennia. The best armor isn't the one that can absorb the most damage. It's the one that allows you to avoid damage entirely while maintaining optimal combat effectiveness. Ambassador Jion smiled. On behalf of humanity, we're honored that our stupid approach to warfare has contributed to the Alliance's security. But more importantly, we're proud that the integration of our perspectives has led to something greater than either civilization could have achieved alone. As the conclave erupted in approving gestures from appendages of all descriptions, a simple truth became apparent to everyone present. Sometimes the stupidest-looking solution might be the most brilliant one yet undiscovered. And humanity, the newcomers with their ridiculous fabric armor, had earned their place among the stars, not despite their differences but because of them. The colony world of New Serenity had been peaceful for generations. Located at the edge of Alliance space, its inhabitants had never expected to be on the front lines of a war. But the Vex Dominion cared nothing for expectations. When the Dominion fleet arrived without warning, the few military personnel stationed on the planet had only minutes to prepare. Among them was Captain Hanul, commanding one of the first squads equipped with the new integrated combat system, armor inspired by human designs. All units, maintain mobility protocols, Hanul ordered through the command channel as Dominion. Dropships appeared in the sky above the main settlement. Remember your training, position over protection. The squad acknowledged as they spread out, their new armor allowing them movement that would have been impossible just months earlier. Gone were the bulky plates that had been standard issue for centuries, replaced by a revolutionary composite that was a third of the weight, but still energy resistant. As the first wave of Dominion troops landed and deployed, they moved with mechanical precision, their heavy armor gleaming in the planet's red sunlight. They advanced in tight formation, energy shields interlocked, a living fortress of offensive capability. Under traditional doctrine, Hanul's squad would have established a defensive perimeter and attempted to match the Dominion's firepower. Instead, they did something the enemy could never have anticipated. They scattered. Small teams of 2 and 3 soldiers moved independently, using terrain features for cover, appearing briefly to fire precision shots before relocating. The Dominion's superior numbers and firepower became irrelevant as they couldn't bring their weapons to bear on targets that refused to stay put. "Target their heavy support," Hanul ordered, sliding behind a fallen pillar. She emerged on the other side, fired 3 rapid shots that found gaps in an enemy's armor joints, then disappeared again before return fire could track her position. Across the battlefield, her squad was doing the same, moving constantly, attacking from unexpected angles, and vanishing before the Dominion could respond effectively. By the time reinforcements arrived, Hanul's squad had suffered only 2 minor injuries while inflicting significant casualties on the numerically superior enemy force. The battle for New Serenity would be recorded as the first successful implementation of what Alliance military historians would later call human mobility doctrine, a revolutionary approach that would change the course of the Research Facility 7 bustled with unprecedented activity. The Alliance military had never devoted so many resources to studying a single species technology, especially one that appeared so primitive at first glance. Dr. Sung-ho adjusted the settings on the ballistic testing apparatus, his 4 hands working in perfect coordination. Behind a reinforced barrier, various samples of human fabric armor were mounted on test dummies. "Begin test sequence 17, he announced. His assistant, Engineer Yunju, initiated the firing sequence. Alliance standard-issue plasma rifles, discharged in rapid succession, the energy bolts striking the samples with pinpoint accuracy. As expected, the plasma burned through the material instantly, leaving smoking holes and melted synthetic fibers. Failure as anticipated, Yunju noted, recording the results. The material offers 0 protection against energy weapons. And yet, Dr. Sung-ho mused, reviewing the high-speed capture data. Look at the way it performs against kinetic impacts. The screen showed earlier test results where projectile weapons, bullets as humans called them, struck the material. Instead of penetrating cleanly, the fabric caught and deformed the projectiles, absorbing and dispersing their energy. It's not that their armor is stupid, Sung-ho said slowly. It's that it's specialized for the threats they actually face from each other. They've never encountered plasma weapons, so they've never needed to defend against them. Yunju's eyes widened in realization. And if we combine their flexible approach with our energy-resistant materials, exactly. Sung-ho pulled up a design schematic he'd been working on. Imagine battle suits with selective reinforcement, rigid, plates only where absolutely necessary, energy-dispersing layers beneath, and the overall flexibility of human designs. High Command would never approve such a radical departure from traditional protection standards, Yunju objected. Sung-ho smiled. They already have. Project Human Integration has been classified as Priority Alpha. We're going to learn from the species with the stupidest armor in the galaxy. War. Grand General Minji walked into the big meeting room and stopped. She had never seen it so full. Every seat was taken. Some aliens even stood along the walls. All 17 species from the Galactic Alliance had sent their leaders. The room was a sea of different bodies. Some had green skin. Some had blue scales. Some looked like walking trees. Some had wings. Some had 8 eyes. But they were all here for one reason: to learn about humans. Minji stood at the front of the room. A large screen hung on the wall behind her. "Thank you for coming," she said. "What you will see today will change how we think about war." The room grew quiet. Even the buzzing people stopped making noise. "For 10,000 years we have fought the same way," Minji continued. "We put our soldiers in heavy armor. We make them strong and hard to kill. This has always worked." She pressed a button. The screen showed Alliance soldiers. They wore thick metal suits that covered them from head to foot. They looked strong. They looked safe. "Each soldier carries 60 kilograms of armor," she said. "It stops most weapons, but it makes them slow." She pressed another button. The screen changed to show human soldiers. These are humans fighting in what they call Syria. Watch how they move. The aliens in the room leaned forward. On the screen, humans ran quickly between broken buildings. They jumped over walls. They slid under cars. They moved like water. "Humans wear almost no armor," Minji said. "Just a thin vest made of woven fibers. It weighs less than 5 kilograms. Admiral Jinsu stood up. His red scales turned dark purple. With anger. "This is madness," he shouted. "They might as well wear paper." One shot from our weapons would kill them instantly, Minji nodded. Yes, Admiral, one hit would kill them, but that's the key word. Hit. You have to hit them first. She showed a new video. Alliance soldiers walked slowly across an open area. They moved in straight lines. Their heavy boots made loud sounds on the ground. Each step was slow and careful because of the weight they carried. Then she showed humans crossing the same kind of space. They ran in zigzag patterns, they rolled. They used small hills and rocks for cover. They moved so fast it was hard to follow them. In tests, our gunners hit Alliance soldiers 8 times out of 10, Minji said. They hit humans only 2 times, out of 10. The room filled with surprised sounds. Ambassador Tejo raised one crystal arm. But General, do their soldiers not die in great numbers, with such little protection? Science Chief Hyon stepped forward to answer. He had been studying humans since first contact. That's what we thought too, he said. But we were wrong. In many battles, humans lose fewer soldiers than we do, especially in city fighting. He showed a chart on the screen. It compared death rates between human armies and Alliance armies in similar battles. The aliens were shocked to see that humans often had fewer deaths. But that makes no sense, shouted Admiral Jinsu. Our armor is better. It stops more damage. Hyun nodded. Yes, but humans don't rely on their armor to save them. They rely on not being hit at all. He showed a new video. A human soldier was moving through a building. Enemy fire hit the wall near him. Instead of standing his ground, the human dropped to the floor, rolled to a new spot, and then fired from there. Look at that, Hyon said. Our soldiers can't move like that. Our armor is too heavy. It protects us, yes, but it also makes us easy targets. The video showed Alliance soldiers in the same building. When shots hit near them, they could only turn slowly and fire back. They couldn't drop to the ground, they couldn't roll away. Their armor was too stiff and heavy. Humans have a saying. Hyon continued. The best armor is not to be there when the enemy shoots. The aliens looked at each other with new understanding in their eyes. War Minister Kyung stood up. His long neck stretched above the crowd. There is more, he said. Our studies show that human tactics change all the time. They adapt. They try new things. He showed a timeline on the screen. It showed how Alliance battle tactics had stayed, almost the same for 1,000 years. Then it showed how human tactics had changed dramatically just in the last 100 years. Humans learn fast, Kyung said. They see what works and what doesn't. Then they change. But why? Asked a small alien near the back. Why would they choose to be so exposed? Minji smiled. That's the most interesting part. Humans didn't start this way. They used to wear heavy armor too. She showed pictures of ancient human warriors. They wore metal plates similar to Alliance armor. 500 years ago, human soldiers looked like ours, she explained. But then their weapons changed. They invented guns that could shoot small metal pieces very fast. These could go through metal armor. The screen showed old human guns. When their armor stopped working, humans tried something new, Minji continued. Instead of making heavier armor, they decided to be faster and smarter. They learned to use the land for cover. They learned to move in ways that make them hard to hit. The room was very quiet now. But our weapons are different, said Admiral Jinsu. We use plasma, not metal pieces. Their light armor won't help against our weapons. True, Minji agreed. But their way of moving might. What good is a powerful weapon if you can't hit your target? She showed one more video. In it, Alliance soldiers in a test tried to hit moving human targets with plasma guns. They missed most of their shots. Humans move in unpredictable ways, Hyun explained. They zigzag, they roll, they change direction suddenly. Our soldiers are trained to shoot at targets that move in straight lines. Ambassador Taeho's crystal body sparkled as he spoke. Are you suggesting we should change our ways after 10,000 years? Minji looked around the room. All eyes were on her. I am suggesting we should learn, she said. Not copy, but learn. What if we could make lighter armor that still stops plasma? What if our soldiers could move more like humans but still be protected? She showed a final image on the screen. It was a drawing of a new kind of Alliance armor. It was thinner. It had flexible parts at the joints. It looked lighter. Our scientists are already working on this, Minji said. They call it the Human Integration Project. Many of the aliens looked unhappy. Change was hard. Change was scary. But some nodded their heads. They understood. The universe is changing, Minji said. Humans have joined the alliance. They bring new ideas, new ways of thinking. We can learn from them, or we can stay the same while they keep changing, keep improving. She looked each alien leader in the eyes. The choice is yours. But remember this. Sometimes the stupidest looking idea is actually the smartest. Sometimes doing things differently is exactly what saves you. As the meeting ended and the aliens filed out, many were deep in thought. Had they been wrong all this time? Could humans teach them something after all? The idea was both exciting and frightening. The galaxy would never be the same again. Captain Doyen sat in his big chair on the bridge of the Eternal Dawn. He had been a ship captain for over 300 years. In that time, he had seen many different aliens, but none were as strange as the humans. Play the video again. He ordered, his voice rough and metallic. The large screen at the front of the bridge lit up. It showed human soldiers running across a dusty field. They wore dark clothes that looked soft. They carried guns but had no real armor. Doyen's hard outer shell clicked as he moved in his seat. The sound echoed in the quiet room. All around him, the crew of aliens watched the screen. I don't understand, Doyen said. These readings must be wrong. Commander Jiwoo stood beside him. Her 6 eyes blinked one after the other. The readings are correct, Captain. We have checked them many times. But they're wearing fabric, Doyen said. Just cloth. Like, clothing. He found it hard to believe. Every soldier in the Galactic Alliance wore heavy armor. Their bodies were covered in thick metal plates. The armor could stop almost any weapon. It was heavy, but it kept them safe. Yes, Captain, said Jiwoo. The humans call it Kevlar. It's some kind of woven material. It might stop small bits of metal, but our weapons would burn right through it. Scan them again, Doyen ordered. They must have some kind of energy shield we can't see. Science Officer Hyon spoke from his desk at the side of the bridge. No shields detected, Captain. What you see is what they have. Doyen's long feelers moved back and forth on top of his head. He was trying to make sense of it. His people had been using metal armor for thousands of years. Every smart species did. You had to protect your soldiers. Look at them move, said Jiwoo. On the screen, the humans ran quickly. They jumped over walls. They rolled across the ground and popped back up. They moved like water. By comparison, Alliance soldiers moved slowly. Their armor was strong, but it was also heavy, very heavy. A normal soldier carried at least 65 kilograms of armor. That was more than most humans weighed. Maybe that's it, said Hyon suddenly. Maybe they value speed over safety. Doyen's feelers stiffened. That's stupid. One hit from a plasma gun would kill them instantly. Yes, agreed Hyon. But they've never met aliens with plasma guns before. They only fight each other, and their weapons are different from ours. The screen showed 2 human armies fighting. They shot small metal pieces at each other. Fast, but not as deadly as plasma. They're bullets, Jiwoo said, using the human word. They move very fast, but they don't have much energy. Their fabric armor can actually stop these small metal pieces, or at least slow them down. Doyen clicked his mouth parts together. A habit when he was thinking hard. And look how they fight, Jiwoo continued. They don't stand in the open. They hide. They run from cover to cover. They don't rely on their armor. They try not to get hit at all. The bridge was quiet as everyone watched the screen. The humans did move differently than Alliance soldiers. They used the land around them. They worked in small groups. They changed position quickly. Alliance soldiers were trained to stand their ground. Their heavy armor let them take hits. They moved forward slowly but steadily, relying on their protection. It's still stupid, Doyen decided. A different way of fighting, yes, but inferior. When humans meet aliens with real weapons, they will learn quickly, or they will die. Maybe, said Hyon. But think about this. What if we could move like they do, but still have good protection? Not 65 kilograms of metal, but something lighter. Something that lets us move fast, but still stops plasma. Doyen's feelers twitched with interest. Can we make something like that? I don't know, admitted Hyon. But it's worth thinking about. Doyen turned to the communications officer. Send all this data to High Command. I think we need to meet these humans sooner than planned. The communications officer, Teo, nodded his wide flat head. Yes, Captain, right away. Doyen looked back at the screen. The humans were still running, jumping, rolling, so fast, so exposed. So different. Should we make contact now? Asked Jiwoo. We're in orbit around their world. They've surely seen us by now. Doyen thought for a moment. Not yet. Let's watch a bit longer. I want to understand them better before we talk. We've been watching them for 30 days, Jiwoo pointed out. High Command will want a report soon. I know, said Doyun, but I want to be sure. There must be something we're missing. No one would go into battle so poorly protected unless they had some advantage we don't understand. Or, said Hyun, they are simply different from us. They think differently. They value different things. Doyun's hard outer shell rasped as he shifted in his chair. The idea bothered him. All intelligent life in the galaxy followed certain rules, certain paths. The Galactic Alliance included 17 different species, and they all developed in similar ways. They all used similar technology. They all fought wars in similar ways. But humans were breaking the rules. Show me their cities, Doyen ordered. The screen changed to show huge human buildings reaching into the sky. Now show me their spaceships. The screen showed small, simple ships. Nothing like the massive Alliance vessels. Now show me their weapons again. The screen changed to display human weapons. Guns that fired metal, bombs that used chemicals. Simple, basic, but effective in their own way. These creatures are strange, Doyen said finally. They do everything wrong, but somehow it works for them. I'm not sure if they're stupid or if they're geniuses. Should I send the data to High Command now? Asked Taejo. Yes, said Doyen, but add a note from me. Tell them I think humans could be valuable allies. Their different way of thinking might be useful, and warn them not to underestimate these creatures. They may look weak and their armor may seem stupid, but there's something about them. Something unexpected. Doyen looked at the screen one more time. A human soldier was running, fabric armor tight against his body, moving with incredible speed and grace. I think it's time we said hello, Doyen decided. Prepare the first contact protocols. Let's go meet these strange humans and their stupid armor. What Doyen and his crew didn't know was that this meeting would change everything. The galaxy would never be the same again.